Me. Up next in our showcase tonight, we have Sabera, who will be running Axiom Verge 100%. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We're going to transition over to Sabera here in just a moment. Hello and welcome, Sabera. Thank you for joining us tonight. And when you're ready to start Axiom Verge, go ahead.
Before we get into this, just a quick little description about what I am about to do. This is Axiom Verge 100%, also known in the community as IMB for items, map, and bosses. See, Axiom Verge has its end screen give you percentages for both map coverage and item collection, and just for funsies, we tack on that it has to be an all bosses run. So you are going to see everything that this video game has to offer in hopefully under 90 minutes. And we are going to go ahead and we are going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the first thing that happens here is that because this game is very heavily inspired by Metroid, we kind of wake up at a save point, big egg, and we're going to have to go left so that we can get the item that lets us go right. In this case, it's not going to be orb, it's going to be gun. So this is the Axiom Disruptor. It is a very good weapon. We are going to be using kind of a lot of it for a while. There are actually 20 different weapons in this game. We're only going to use 4 of them in this run. The rest of them are just not as powerful, not as useful, not as convenient. We're going to get 3 of those weapons in the first 5 minutes of the game, ish. So now we do what's called the Brinstar climb. Killing that first enemy as I run is called drive-by snailing. It's 3 very precise shots. Otherwise, you jump into it and you take a hit. Speaking of taking hits, we're going to take some convenient damage boosts from the little wasp enemies on these hives to jump through, get a well-placed shot on that switch, and head up here to the Nova Corridor, where we will pick up our second weapon of the 4 that we will use and the 20 in the game, Nova. So that's Nova. The important thing about Nova is that we need it in order to hit some switches. In particular, the switch that lets us go to the first boss. We don't use Nova that much. It is theoretically the highest DPS weapon in the game. We use it for like 2 enemy kills and hitting a couple of switches. So we're going to use it for 1 enemy kill here, 1, 2, because it's slightly more powerful than the Axiom Disruptor, so that's a little more lenient. To hit this switch, we're going to boop and run right through here. Now remember, we have to collect all of the map tiles, so we actually have to go into the save room over here and collect these map tiles. We're never going to be coming back here. This is one of 2 save rooms where you can collect both map tiles. They're too high. They're all too high. Without the high jump power up. Once we get that later, we will suddenly be able to collect all tiles in every save room that we pass. The ordering is a little bit weird, but first we're going to pass through the boss foyer. That's what it's called in the game code. And fight Zeter, who is our very first boss of the game. We're going to beef Zeter a little bit. So this is going to be a little bit weird. Normally we use a very specific manipulation pattern for Zeter. We're going to do this just slightly differently than we normally do. Not a big deal. Zeter is not especially complicated. You know, he's kind of explodey now. Thanks, Zeter. That's probably about 1 second slower than I otherwise would have liked, so actually not too bad of a Zeter kill, even with the beef. We will use Nova one more time to hit a switch, and that will be the last time that we will see Nova for pretty much the rest of the game, unless I accidentally hit the weapon switch button. Now we have a laser drill, which, as you might suspect, allows us to drill things. But in addition to drilling things, It also does damage to enemies. Oh, we are actually going to kill one more enemy with it. I'm sorry, I lied. So sorry, everybody. Now Nova's gone forever. We're never going to see it again, except by accident. The drill does damage to enemies. And because it can be fired on the same frame as bullets, we are actually able to use that to enhance our damage output when we're close to things. So we're actually going to spend a decent amount of time doing that over the course of the run, until we obtain the absolute best weapon in the game, which we get probably close to an hour in, very, very close to the end of the run. So, we're going to be... we're going to be ignoring most of the weapons in this game for most of the run. This laser drill allows us to exit Erebu, which is the first area, into Absu, which is this area right here. It is full of mushrooms and other little things. Broccoli that shoots bullets at us. Why broccoli? I don't know. I like broccoli, honestly. But I don't like this broccoli because this broccoli shoots at us. Absu is also full of zombies and blue snails. So we've upgraded from the red snails to the blue snails. There are also red snails in here. Don't worry. There is a save room immediately to the right that I'm going to ignore because I cannot get the second map tile in there just yet. We're going to be coming here later. This is Elsa Nova. She has a present for us. It's the third weapon of the game. So within about 5 minutes, we've gotten 3 of the 4 weapons that we care about. We give Elsa Nova a little kiss. It is actually possible to make that jump. It's called chin jump, but it is a little bit difficult. It saves about half a second in a run that's 85-90 minutes long. So these are were supposed to be prisons in the lore of the game, but now they're actually catacombs. Sudrins don't keep skeletons in their closet. They keep them in their basement. I'm going to take another little deviation for map tiles. This would look weird if you did not know that I was going for map tiles. We're going to go ahead and use our new weapon, Kilver, which is a short-range, powerful lightning weapon to kill some enemies in here, get them out of our way relatively quickly. We know where the health drops will be, so I picked up just the right amount of health to do a damage boost through the next boss that's going to let me do the quick kill there. But first, this is the other save room that I can get both map tiles without high jump, and we're never coming back here. So through the foyer and into the boss fight. This is Talal. Talal is a chonky boy. And unfortunately for Talal, his chamber was not designed with accessibility in mind, so Talal cannot turn around. So once we get behind Talal using a carefully placed damage boost, we can basically just shove disruptor shots into his cauliflower until he explodes. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Talal's going to back up here. His cauliflower is going to explode. It's going everywhere. Goodbye, Talal. And we now move on. Our reward for defeating Talal is the Address Disruptor, which lets us glitch the world. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up. And in order to progress, we do actually have to glitch some platforms. If we move swiftly through this room, we will be able to glitch the first of these bubbles here and catch it as a platform. This is the first possible bubble that you can catch. First bubble is free, and it saves you about 5 seconds. So that was very nice. And through this room, you just want to make sure not to get hit by the red snails in here, especially if you have low health, because that can kill you. And dying is bad at this point. It would send you all the way back to the very, very beginning of the game, because we haven't saved anywhere else yet. So now we are in Green Absu. We've gotten everything that we came for in Absu pretty much thus far. So we are actually just going to nope our way out of Absu into the next area, Z. But in order to do that, we have to go through Squid Room, which we can just kind of YOLO our way through. So that was the YOLO Squid Room. These little green shuttles do lots of damage. We want to avoid taking hits from them. So we're going to mostly jump very carefully through this room as we move our way through. We have another little squid fallway right there, just slipping right through that. And in this room, we are going to pick up this little hexagonal, this little stop sign looking thing, which is a power node. This increases the damage that our weapons put out. We actually got one of these right after Zeter as well. Power nodes are our friends for a couple of reasons. Mostly the outgoing damage, though. Welcome to Z. Z is a fascinating little place full of weird little damage boosts like that, and lots of little interesting things. I am actually going to try and show you a fun little damage boost strat, but I am going to take a safety save before I do it, because it literally could kill me. So we're going to take this save right here. You normally wouldn't do this, but marathon safety, and I kind of want to try to show off in the next room. So this is Anthill. There is a little safe drill passageway through Anthill on the right-hand side, but it is actually faster to do this. Ow. All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna take some safety health here. Just like whiffing that jump on the end would have put us at way too low health to do this. This is called YOLO Room. It's called YOLO Room because we basically just YOLO our way through it. So we use these spiders. The spiders actually do less damage to us than anything else in this room. So we actually tank body hits from them for safety. So that is a kind of run-through YOLO room that I developed that is called the Modified Dragon Slayer. The original version of the Dragon Slayer was developed by resident Glitchmaster and excellent runner Rare Beef, who actually found a lot of the glitches that we use in this run. These are Demon Coral. Those little squiggly things that the Demon Coral shoot out are some of the only source of actual randomness in the game. Health drops, completely stable. Enemy patterns, completely stable, except the Demon Coral's squigglies. So we exit Z. We didn't actually get any items in Z. I don't know if you noticed that, but we are now in Lower Kerr. Kerr actually has 3 parts to it: Lower Kerr, Upper Kerr, and Snowy Kerr. We're only going to be going to Lower Kerr for right now because we need to pick up our shoes. We need Jordans. In order to progress. So we're going to go get those. In order to get Jordans, we have to progress through the grossest named room in the entire run. Welcome to Juicy Room. This is called Juicy Room because there are these krill here, these things, that fire these little gushers, these little exploding gushers at us. And we have to make our way through them over the Pepto-Bismol. And in here, this is the Jordan's room. And so these shoes, they're actually Wi-Fi. And having Wi-Fi connectivity gives us the ability to high jump.
So
now... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, would this be a good moment for interjection?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I was just going to say, of all the runs that I've hosted for this evening and all of the runs I've watched today, even with the very gross gushers, this is the one that's made me want to have some extra dinner here tonight the most. The chat is full of discussion around broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and now we've moved on to candy, right, folks?
With that, our Wi-Fi allowing us to jump higher allows us to come back into Z and proceed toward the next boss. I want to shoot this so that dragon jumps over me. I'm going to try to do a little swag coyote jump here. Nope, didn't quite get it. If you can coyote jump off that first ledge and onto the first floating platform, that's a trick called zombie jump. That actually saves about 3 seconds. It's really nice to land. But we're going to move through the foyer into the next boss. This is Uruku. Uruku is a big slug trapped in a giant vat of Pepto-Bismol. So we are actually going to do what's called the Pepto-Biz crawl so that we can get to this safe spot where we can hammer away at Uruku's weak point without being vulnerable to any of Uruku's attacks. Basically, this little square right here. All of the bosses in the game, or most of the bosses in the game, have some sort of developer-intended cheese And that is not the developer intended cheese for this boss. The developer intended cheese for that boss is to take shelter behind the blocks on the left-hand side of the screen and kind of plink away from it from behind them. But we found a better cheese, and our reward for this cheese is a lab coat. See, Trace is a theoretical physicist, and what do theoretical physicists do if not wear lab coats? In any case, aside from making us look fancier, the lab coat allows us to walk through walls, and it also makes us take something like 40% less damage. The damage reduction from this is very significant. What was that? What? With that, we will be able to move to Upper Kerr. I'm actually not really sure why I took that hit. That was very strange, but I may have moved too fast there. That's a possibility. But so here we're going to try, we did not get it. It is possible to one tile slip between that enemy and the platform. A trick that is called G-Squeeze after G-Virus, who is one of the OG runners of this game. If you bonk on the platform like I did, that's called Cheap Squeeze. That is what we got there. We're gonna try to take a fast armadillo cycle here. You basically die if you mess that up, so I was taking a little bit of a risk there. Not a big deal. We're gonna move on to the upper part of Upper Kerr. As we're coming up here, we're actually looking for our only friend in this kind of cold, dead world, who is a little remote drone. And so we're gonna do our best to get our little drone buddy here. We're going to take a little plink at this bull to bait it. And we're going to beat this boulder. You beat that boulder cycle, you're going about as fast as you can through this. And through here, we're going to pass through this barrier using our lab coat, drop onto our little drone buddy, and we are going to save warp again. We use a lot of save warping in this run, which is just kind of, really, really convenient that we have these nice little anchor saves. Now that we have a remote drone, we are going to climb. I forgot to mention this column right here is known as Mission Impossible because of all the lasers, basically. So we're going to come through here through Mission Impossible for the third time. We're going to drop our little drone buddy up there who's going to hit that switch for us so we can pass through. We need both Trace and the drone buddy because we have to walk through walls again. And so you walk through walls by double tapping against them. There's a lot of double tapping in this game, which can be a little bit finicky on the wrists. But that is just how it goes. We got some zombies here. We're going to navigate around them, hit this switch, and we are on our way. And the important thing that we have in here, aside from the zombies, and zombies are pretty important in their own right, is an upgrade for our address disruptor. So now we can glitch things better and faster and more. There are some things that we couldn't glitch before that now we can, but we also just glitch things faster, which is really nice. So we're going to go ahead and take that, and we're actually going to return to Upper Kerr again. So this is a little bit of back and forth of like Upper Kerr, Lower Kerr, Upper Kerr, Lower Kerr. We're going to try. We did not get G-Squeeze yet again. Unfortunate. We are not at maximum glitch yet. We are not even remotely at maximum glitch yet, Grunt, but yeah, we're working our way there. We're not even at maximum canonical glitch. So really quickly, before we go to the place that we're supposed to go, I need to drop my drone in here because there's actually a weapon hiding in here that would help you with the next boss of the game if you were not doing the speed strat, which of course I will be doing. Oops. This is the hypoatomizer. It is one of the weapons that we do not care about. So I will be grabbing this and never using it. I will be immediately switching back to Kilver. Hypoatomizer just doesn't do enough damage to be useful in this speedrun. So I'm about to do what's called the Juicy Climb. You can see that there are all of these krill here. And there's also lava that you can glitch for some reason. Shruggies. But there's a lot of those gusher krill there. So I'm going to go ahead and take intentional damage here. so that I can get a faster cycle blowing open that hole there. That cannot be drilled open by either our laser drill or our drone. And we're going to go ahead and collect this little health node fragment, which will do two things. One, it means that we don't have to come back here later to get the health node fragment, which is nice in and of itself. But also, it refills our health to full just before the next boss, which is also really useful because we're going to be doing a risky damage boost strategy that we do not want to be missing health for, honestly. We just don't want that. We're going to blow that up and move through here. I need to switch back to Kilver. So this is Gertab. He is a big scorpion. He's only vulnerable in his belly. And what the game wants you to do is use Nova or Hypoatomizer to hit his belly. But it's way, way easier, way faster to take a little damage boost, lock him into his flamethrower animation, and just shove drill and lightning into his belly until he explodes. So that was Gertab. As you can see, we lost almost 3/4 of our health. And that was why that little health refill was so useful for us. And so now we move on into the zoo. The zoo is the most enemy-dense area in the game, and it is full of enemies that hit very hard. So we're actually going to be a little careful here. There's kind of a... ooh, I want you to be glitched. Ooh, that was actually very convenient. Oops, that was not convenient. All right, we're actually doing good. So knowing that our health drops are static helps make this a lot safer. 1, 2, and 3. And that takes us to the upper portion of the zoo. Oh, ow. I did not expect to fall down there. That's okay. We're never coming back here, so we do have to make sure to get literally everything that is here now. All of the map tiles, all of the items, everything. So we're going to stop right about here and drop a drone down. And the purpose for this drone at this point is going to be to pick up a whole bunch of map tiles that we're otherwise not really going to be able to get. So we're going to recall the drone. We're going to come back to this ledge, and then we're going to jump off, fire the drone. It's going to pick up this power node, which otherwise requires a big grapple to get. We're going to let that drop down a couple of tiles over here. We're going to lock in place over here and drop the drone up to pick up the grapple. We are now at maximum glitch, almost, because the grapple is the source of many, many of the glitches in this game. We'll pick up this little health node fragment, and we're going to save warp out. And that is the end of the zoo. It is now time for grapple shenanigans, but we are going to be climbing... we are going to be climbing Mission Impossible again, so if we have any donations or any blurbs to read or any commentary, now is a great time for that.
Absolutely. All right. Just a moment here while I pull up the donations. We have a new one tonight from Relax. Sabera is a favorite speedrunner of mine. It's great to see her. And we have another donation with no comment. Just want to say thanks in a $20 holler. Thank you so much.
Aw, thank you, folks. Welcome to Indy. This is the central hub of this game. I am on top of Oraka. Oraka goes fast and is a good girl, so we give her head scritchies whenever we ride on top of her. We love Oraka. We're going to take a real quick detour here to save. Please save. We'll go ahead and high jump to pick up that map tile. We would have other opportunities for that. I'm going to do a tiny little glitch there called a rocket door. If you grapple straight up while standing on top of a door and then move downward through the door, you go super fast for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. But you go so fast that if you do it on an area transition, it messes up the loading and it does not properly load the audio for the new zone. Fun fact. All right, so we are supposed to go to an area called Ukana. We are not supposed to go this way. The grapple... One second. Come on. There we go. The grapple is supposed to be used to get us there, but not this way. We're not supposed to be able to grapple through that laser barrier. We're not supposed to be able to grapple onto a door. This takes us all the way to the top of the area. And now, now we are at the boss foyer in this area. Basically, we were in a room that shouldn't exist. And if we had left through the leftward door there, the game would have crashed. But because we are able to use the grapple to clip through the floor in that room, we're able to get into the save room right before the boss. So welcome to the boss. This is Vision. I am going to defeat Vision with the power of my mind. I have defeated Vision with the power of my mind. There is a whole hallucination sequence that is supposed to take place in this area. After the Vision fight, you wake up in the real version of this area, and the hallucination version is forever gone. In the real version of this area, you are actually able to collect items, which is pretty important. It is a requirement for us to finish the category. But there is actually a really important item that we're going to be picking up here that we otherwise could not get. See, lab coats are great. I love them. You love them, I'm very sure. But they're not the most dashing of outerwear. So we're gonna go pick up something that's a little bit swaggier than that. Oops, I almost forgot that's not what we do anymore. We actually come down here and I'm gonna grapple clip into this tunnel. I'm gonna try to grab, there we go. Fire my drone. And grab this. Now I'm going to do what is called print screen buffering. See, I'm going to hold print screen and then I'm going to jump, and that is going to let Trace get out of the floor. And so that enables us to get that item now and not have to backtrack for it later, which is a big deal. So we do that. And then over here, we're just going to go ahead and grapple clip in here, and we're going to pick up a trench coat. Now, when I said dashing, you may have thought that it was swag, but no, it's literally dashing. And it is faster to go down than it is to go up, so we're going to go ahead and go all the way down to the bottom of the screen, grab that item, and then we're going to save warp out. We made this anchor save right here. Because this is actually the next area that we need to go. We are going from Ukana to Eden. So we're going to pick up this note. Notes are full of lore. They don't do anything for us aside from increasing our item percentage. So, but that's nice, I guess, right? You know, we're trying to do a 100% run. We want all of the percents. So, oh no, zombies. See you later. Welcome to Owl City. We'll be back here in a little while. I'm going to be doing something very silly in this room that you're not going to see in a little while. But in the meantime, we need to get in here into Eden Tower. You're not really supposed to be able to get in here yet. But because of a little bit of shenanigans with grapple and a coat, it is absolutely possible to do so. And so now we're here. These little blade buddies want to give you a hug, but they are sharp and it hurts, so we do not want that to happen. So we're gonna try to avoid them as much as we can. There is an item here that I am supposed to have something else to get to, but fun fact, you can just grapple clip. Yes. So that was fun. So now we're going to get out of here, out of there, and make sure that we kill as much of these things as possible, because those are pretty mean. We need to make sure to grab map tiles. That's always one of the big things in this run, is forgetting map tiles is a lot. It is a big part of the run. And now we are at the boss foyer in Eden. There are actually technically 2 bosses in Eden. We're not going to be seeing the second one until later. We're going to grab this save. Again, we're not going to be coming back to Eden Tower ever. But first we have to face off against a giant wasp. If you have a fear of big insects, bugs, now is a great time to tune out. But otherwise, welcome to Ukhu. Ukhu sucks. But also we have to get these upper map tiles. So I'm actually doing something called a rocket jump. To get those map tiles. Now, if you're wondering what happened, why Ukhu just exploded, he spit a bunch of mini wasps at me and I glitched them. And it turns out that when you glitch them and you then blow them up, they explode. And if any of those hits Ukhu while his mouth is open, he dies immediately. One shot. 360 no scope. And that gives us access to drone teleport, which is actually necessary in order to access a bunch of items in Eden Tower. That stinger is too big. It is absolutely true. Fun grapple trick. You can actually grapple clip through that little tunnel right there. So there is one more thing that we need drone teleport to get in here. And that is, there's a little item up here that you can't really get to any other way. Aside from having a trench coat and a drone teleport. Okay, so we've almost completely cleaned out Eden Tower. There is this little note room on the side. We could have gotten this on the way up, but the reason that we didn't, there is an important reason why we didn't. And that is because we can grapple clip out of this room. Saves us a door transition. One sec. Okay. Now, I just did a completely cameraless setup for a warp trick that will soft lock me if I did it wrong. That is, this is the swag warp, and we're gonna see if I got it right. If I didn't, it doesn't take that long to reset up with the camera, which is why I feel comfortable taking this risk. But we are going to grapple above this area transition door. And we got it. First try. Basically, dashing through the door there when you have trench coats specifically puts you out of bounds. And the way that the game corrects for Trace and the drone being out of bounds is to put them in their last known valid coordinates, even if those coordinates were in a completely different area. So we set up the drone without being able to see it in a location that corresponds to the door of that room with the passcode tool that I just got. And then when we're out of bounds, basically hatching the drone out of bounds causes it to appear in the door, which forces the door transition, and thus gets us very, very far away from where we otherwise came in to the area. So that is the hardest glitch in the game, but it is not maximum glitch. We are not you have not yet seen the final form of glitch. So first, we're going to set up another one of these drone warps, void warps they're called, because there's some nonsense. And we're going to go back into Lower Kerr. So we're going to come here. There's no floor underneath this lava, so we're going to drop our drone down there, and that is going to teleport the drone all the way to the very, very end of an out and back mini dungeon where we get the reflector weapon. Now we used to come into this room forward and then do a save warp out of here. But it turns out that is slower than doing it backwards. It turns out it's slower than doing it backwards. So now we just do it backwards. And this puts us in Snowy Cur, which is actually where we want to go. The old, the version of the Void Warp that we used to use is the one from Any Percent, which takes us to Enhanced Drone Launch, which is an item that is incredibly lovely and that we will be getting very shortly. But it puts us in the same Snowy Cur area, just higher up. But because in 100% we need the map tiles, and we need the items, so we have to go into that mini dungeon, which means that we were going to come here anyway, and we just don't have to backtrack quite as much. And we don't have to do an out and back, and we don't have to do a save warp, and we don't have to spend the time saving the game, which takes, time and save animations. So there's just a lot going on there. So this is Enhanced Drone Launch. When I launch my drone, it now goes whoosh, which is great. This is incredibly big movement speed gain. So we now go a lot faster than we did before. And as we head up, we're actually going to the entrance to Temple. It's an area called Ekerma, which is where we are going to complete our endgame movement collecting. So Ekerma is really important. And it's also home to some of the most dangerous enemies in the game. So we're going to skip most of that. And the way that we're going to do that is more grapple shenanigans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place myself against this door. And then I'm going to try to grapple onto the ceiling right outside the door as I pass through the door. Like that. Let's see if that worked. Yep. Okay, now I'm going to need to be quiet for a while. There we go. Okay, so this is Temple Skip. So basically what happened was the game doesn't expect you to be grappled on to anything while you're passing through a door. So it doesn't do anything special with the grapple attachment when you change areas, which means that when you change areas, the grapple is still connected at the same coordinates that it was in the previous area. But those correspond to somewhere completely differently than you load in. And so it just pulls you way the heck into the interior of a very difficult room known as Green Hell. Green Hell, because it is not the loaded room, does not have any of its enemies in it, but also the camera doesn't go to the right place, so you can't see what's going on. So we do a little bit of, again, cameraless navigation to get ourselves through that, and that gets us to Red Coat. Red Coat has a longer dash than Brown Coat does. It has tons of iframes, and it does damage to anything it touches while you're passing through it. This combined with our enhanced drone launch gives us incredible movement speed. Executed correctly, we actually move faster than Araka does, which is just really wild. So we are now actually, you know what? I forgot something. We actually have to put in a password because there is a hidden item here. I almost forgot about it. I'm glad I didn't. So Iskarth Ihanzu, how you get this passcode is there are these dark green bush enemies in this room, and if you glitch them, they very slowly display the password to you. We're going to get another weapon that we don't care about. This is Quantum Variegator. It is widely considered to be the worst weapon in the game. It basically fires squigglies like the Demon Coral, which makes it impossible to target with, and it doesn't do very much damage either. So, unfortunately, it doesn't see a lot of use in the speedrun, by which I mean it sees no use in the speedrun unless you forget to switch off of it. We're going to intentionally take an anchor save. This is not a safety save. This is, we actually want to come back there. And so these gold sentries, the bullets that they fire do lots of damage. Every coat that you get gives you a little bit more damage reduction. So if we had to do all of this area with trench coat instead of red coat, it would be a lot more dangerous, in addition to just being slower because we would have less dash. So it's really nice to be able to do temple backwards like this. We do it like this in any percent as well. Temple skip is kind of the like apex trick in any percent. Like that's the one that people struggle the most with. Here in the lobby, because we can also dash our way through drillable blocks, we go ahead and pick up a note that is kind of buried in there. We actually need to go back because there's more in the upper part of Temple. See, in order to get to the inner part of Temple, we were supposed to get a key from a room way up in the upper part of Temple. But because we have grapple shenanigans, we did not have to do that. But we do now have to go clean up the rest of the items. So like these gold doors, the one that I just red coded through, are supposed to be opened by that key, the Speedrun key. So I need to go pick up that key. That counts as item percentage. That's also important. And there's also, you know, buckets of map tiles here that we need to pick up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This room is also loaded with these gold sentries, which is one of the things that makes this difficult in any percent, where you have substantially less health as well, because we just pick up way fewer health nodes. And additionally, you don't have red coat when doing this in No Major Glitches, which is the place where you would come to key room. So you actually have to drill painfully slowly through all of those blocks. And yes, as Angie points out, there is a fun little quote inside of the game about the key. It is the damned key. So this actually puts us out. This save warp, that the reason we take that anchor save is this puts us out in Upper Kerr, which is really nice because we actually have a bunch of cleanup to do here, and we want to kind of never come back here again. We didn't get the upper two map tiles in Gertab's room because we didn't have a way to get at them before, but getting out of Gertab's room again involves going through an up door, and I made that look easy, but up doors are the real final boss. It's really hard to get yourself consistently out of an up door. And of course, the important question here is, what's up, door? Not much. What's up with you? Yeah, if we while we're doing a little bit of cleanup here, it would actually be a really fine time for any more donations or entreaties about incentives, whatever you got.
You got it. And also, I'm still giggling over that last what's up door. So anyway, thank you. You know what? I always love a good pun around here. So let's talk about some of those incentives which are still hanging out with us tonight. All right, so we have, first actually, let me back up and say about the two giveaway prizes. We have the Tunic Perler with a minimum donation of $20 and Prince from the Renaissance, aka the Gamescape artist. Two winners will be drawn. Again, a minimum $20 donation to enter into that. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST, 10 a.m. PST, my time zone, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Grab Majora's Mask incentive while blindfolded is still going on. I don't know if I remembered to mention the blindfolded part earlier, but I know I'm looking forward to checking that one out. After that, later on, we have another incentive for Super Mario World Quickie World 2. How about a round of golf? And that's only about just over $1 away from reaching its goal. It'd be great to see that one get closed out. Thank you so much. All right, back to the game.
All right. So I have lots of map tiles and weird little items to collect here. I picked up yet another weapon we're never going to use, Ion Beam, which Ion Beam is actually kind of fun in principle. It's a little, it's like a continuous laser. It's fun. It just doesn't do enough damage to be worth it. And we're done with Upper Kerr. We're not done with Kerr entirely, and we are actually not going to we're not going to finish Kerr cleanup right now. The reason for that is that we have this really handy little exit here into Eden, and we didn't do the right side of Eden. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure that we got the tile there, the map tile. There's a lot of stuff in the right side of Eden. Back here, there's a full health node and a full power node just kind of hanging out in an alcove for no gosh darn reason. But below us, there's actually a whole bunch of glitch tiles that we can't break right now. So in order to get to where we're trying to go, we're gonna do nonsense. We're gonna commit grapple shenanigans. And that gets us into the silo. That is called silo clip. This is the silo, and that gets us just on the other side of that. The thing that I just picked up is a dress bomb. So that's maximum canonical glitch, is where we are right now. And now we are here for the second boss of Eden, which is Clone. It's this thing. Clone is not particularly difficult. Another up door later, and here we go. The game will actually lock us to this save room if we don't shoot the drone across it. Oh. Please. Thank you. It is actually possible to get the first worm in the room glitched in time to get it through the ceiling. But the glitched worms take us up through the ceiling. That gets us to this handy dandy little item, which again is another weapon that we only care about for its... Ooh! No! There we go. For its item percentage. This is... this room... For some reason, if I go as fast as I possibly can in this room, it sometimes crashes the game. So we are actually, I'm gonna take a little care to get out of there without crashing the game. Now we're safe. But that room in particular is a little bit scary for that reason. More fun hidden. Can you please go through that? Thank you. Hidden stuff there. And now we're going to set up for another glitch that we haven't seen yet, which is called a displacement warp. So I'm going to leave Trace somewhere where drill blocks used to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and recall this drone. That's going to reset the map. It's going to respawn those drill blocks. And because the room needs somewhere to put Trace, or the game needs somewhere to put Trace, it's just going to shift him upward until it finds a valid position. Excuse me, I'm not slowing down for anybody. Not even you, Ice, but I appreciate the thought. We're back in Owl City again. This time we can actually see again. Here we have the needle disposal. There are 2 hypodermic needles in this game, and they turn Trace into an elder god, sort of. Basically, whenever Trace is at full health, after you pick them up, some tentacles will grow out of his back and shoot bullets, as long as you're at full health. And that's just, it's weird. It's weird. But we don't use them. They don't provide any important amount of damage. We're going to take another anchor save here in Ukanna. We're actually going to do some of the Ukanna cleanup right now as well. Ukanna cleanup gets broken into a couple of different ventures because it is this area is kind of built a little squirrely. There is one fun kind of secret item we're going to be getting in a moment here. Coming up in this corridor, we have Slug Room. So we're going to come right into Slug Room. We're going to fire an address bomb. and that is going to glitch this. And the very first time that one of these slugs bursts open after you glitch it, instead of dropping health pickups, it drops a health node fragment, a small health node fragment, which is really easy to miss, and one of the big things that people miss when going for hundo in this game, even like casual 100% plays, if you're not glitching everything, and you don't think to like get close to the enemy after you glitch it, then it's really easy to miss. So again, doing lots of things for map tiles. We're gonna save warp. Whew. This run is a lot of talking. By the way, I've been doing this for almost 50 minutes now, so I apologize if my voice gets a little bit worn out. But it is fun. I love this run so much. So I'm very, very happy to do this. So as we are coming here, there's another sort of couple of items here that we want to get. This is the elevator shaft. It is fairly fast to climb. Ooh. But getting out of it is a little bit tricky, as you can see at the top. You have to time a dash really well to make sure that you actually get through the floor before you drop off. But we do want to come up here and pick up this note. And then after that, we're actually just going to drop right back down. Oh, we actually want to go ahead and get the map tiles that are in the save room over here that I did not get earlier. A drinking helmet. And I have one of those like baseball stadium beer helmets. It's just going to be filled with water. That was a actually very smooth exit of the elevator shaft. I didn't crack an egg at all. I just dashed through the bottom. Okay, so this is Ereboo again. We're back at the first area of the game. This is actually where we were supposed to have come into Ukana in the first place. We're going to do Ereboo cleanup very soon, but as sort of an important routing choice, the first thing that we're going to do is make a little bit of a U-turn so that we can not only pick up this item, but also finish out Indie cleanup. And so what we're going to do here is just, there's a little item hidden away in here. And like I said, we are now faster than Oraka. So we are going to use our faster than Oraka powers to zip our way through Indie. Just going. We're just going to go. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm dashing, I'm firing my drill to reset the cooldown on my drone, I'm drone teleporting, and then I'm doing it all again. It's a lot of inputs in a very short span of time, over and over and over and over and over and over and over to get all the way through here. Now, dashing requires double tapping on the D-pad. So when I say it's a lot of inputs, I mean it's a lot of inputs.
Would now be a good moment to read a donation?
Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
Thank you. All right. And donation from Anonymous. Golf? I want to see some golf. Thank you so much for the $37.58.
$37.58. Thank you very much for the generous donation. The reason that we make that U-turn is not only to do Indie cleanup, but it is actually also to finish Kerr cleanup. So we're going to go ahead. We're actually going to use our red coat to make a little bit of an incursion in here. Our drone drills pretty fast, but, why not? And then we're going to make our way into the Room of Pain. This room is known as the Room of Pain not because it is hard in the speedrun, but because trying to do this normally, the way that you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to glitch those krill and use them as platforms. And because they move randomly, it's just absolutely terrible. But there is a weapon back here that we need, the tethered charge. And once we get that, we can just kind of save warp out and head back into Ukana. And now we are going to leave Ukana again for Arabu, and do Arabu cleanup. We are done with everything that we were gonna do there for right now. So we can kind of move on with our lives and get back to cleaning up the very first area of the game. We still have not hit maximum glitch yet. I have not shown you every glitch that we have in the game. You're going to see some nonsense in the very near future. So first I'm going to set up for another displacement warp. We're going to send the drone in through here. Trace is going to hang out in that little corridor. And we're just going to send the drone all the way through. The drone is going to come get, I think this is lightning gun, inertial pulse, one of those. It doesn't matter. We don't care. And by recalling the drone, we are again just going to force Trace up to the nearest available spot, which happens to be right up at the top of the room where we want to leave. We are now going to go back to the very first save point in the game. Because we missed a map tile here. That's really the only thing that we care about, right? There's nothing in the room to the left. We went in there, we got the gun. This is just a big empty room. I'm going to show you how empty this room is. Wait, what? All right, well, I guess there's some nonsense here, so we'd better figure this out. This area is the only area in the game that has anything that looks like actual water. In the original imaginings of this game, there were actually water areas, but Tom did not leave them in. I forget exactly what the reasoning was for that. Maybe just because they didn't play well, they weren't fun. Maybe because there just wasn't time. We're going to fire another address bomb in here. The map is going to come up real slow. We're going to put in another password in here. This is the funniest password in the game. This is Dinger Gisbar, the greatest of primordial fires. Please, thank you. And that is going to give us access to the best weapon in the game, the only other weapon that we care about, which is the flamethrower. That's right, we now have a flamethrower. We literally don't care about any other weapons in the entire game at this point. We've gotten all 4 of them. We're 55 minutes into the run. We got, maybe 25, 30 minutes left. So we're gonna throw some flames. All right, so there's this hidden area over here. We're gonna pop Trace into these bubbles. We're going to leave him there and send the drone out. You may suspect correctly that this is set up for another displacement warp. We are going to grab this note, this little faded note, and Trace is going to get bopped up all the way up into this room. Now, we're not going to go right back in, though we are going to go through there in a minute, because first we have to go to Thriller Night. There are so many zombies that I just don't want to fight. So we're going to go ahead and grab those map tiles. You're actually supposed to come into that room with a passcode, but putting in a passcode is slower than displacement warping, so we're just going to do it this way. Flamethrower the switch. Grab this little item here, which is what the passcode is supposed to give us access to. Through this enemy, we're going to pop out into this room that was actually accessible to us from the beginning of the game. We're going to go ahead, grab some map tiles, and move on down here. In this room, we will be picking up another weapon that we do not care about, the Multi-Disruptor. Again, the Multi-Disruptor is useless to us. We will not be engaging with it. We're just going to kind of come down here. This is another room that we could have gotten immediately after getting Nova. Do not care. we're just going to go ahead and grab a size node that's in here that's actually going to increase the size of our projectiles. Well, that includes our drill and the flames of our flamethrower. And finally, we need to go through Nova Corridor one more time. There was an up door here. Not much. What's up with you? That we did not get. So we're going to come through here. We're going to fire another address bomb. And that's going to let us go through this, another up door. Not much. What's up with you? And that is going to take us to this full health node, at which point we will save warp back to the very first save point in the game. Updog's favorite door. That is correct. And we're almost done with Ereboo. We have a little bit more to go. But not quite yet. We have a couple more things that we need to take care of on our way out. Going down is faster than going up, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We didn't go through this door before. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and fire an address bomb, and we'll use this to input another passcode. Dalku Subtum. Dalku Subtum opens a door in here that will lead us to yet another weapon that we don't care about. This is called Orbital Discharge. I don't know about you, but I feel like if you have Orbital Discharge, you need to go see a doctor about that. In this case, the only doctor really available is Trace, and he's not that kind of doctor. All right, and we are done with Ereboo in under an hour. Before I forget, it is really easy to forget to get this save room. It is really easy to forget that save room. And it's also really easy to forget this item. So we are going to... we're going to not forget those. During one of my derusts, I most percented because I forgot those. And it was not a fun time. Nobody loves a most percent. Oh, wait, that was not correct. We just do this. So there's these hidden things down here in Absu. I think Absu is probably one of the most convoluted cleanups in the game. Because there's just like all of these weird little like hidden passages and stuff. And we kind of route around in weird ways in order to get through them. Ooh, cracked an egg. It's fine. No big deal. So we do have to do a lot of shenanigans. Now is actually a good time for some donations and things.
You got it. So instead of reading a donation right now, I think I'd like to talk about some of our incentives again with a little more detail because, folks, we just met another incentive marker. Tomorrow, we were going to see Gruntiatus not only playing Quickie World 2, but after, we're going to see a round of golf. As you may already know if you've been following Friends of the Speedrun Hall of Fame for quite a while, Gruntiatus is a man of many talents, his Punch-Out and Kaizo achievements notwithstanding. Do you know he's a bona fide golf champion? It's true, he won the Renaissances tournament in 2021. Can he survive a quick round after the quickie round of Kaizo Mario? We're going to find out tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody, for that donation. I guess we will see, what was it, Marshall Mallow back on the course once again, huh, Gruntiatus? Thanks for hanging out with us here in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. So the area that I just did was is called Attic. The thing about Attic is that because you have to fire a bunch of address bombs in order to clear out Breach, and the address bombs slow down the game simulation, you can pick up an item while the game simulation is slowed down, and the item pickup animation just takes forever. But because we time this using in-game time, and the in-game timer slows down with the rest of the simulation, it not a time loss. Quick grapple clip to get to the bottom of this area because it's faster than going down and then going back up. Because we're not done glitching things yet. So there's that. Now we can just kind of pop our way out of here and move on. We love grapple clipping through floors. We love going into unloaded rooms. If you play the randomizer for this game, knowing these tricks is incredibly useful because it makes checks just like a lot easier. We'll take a quick rocket door there. Oh, no, I wasn't supposed to do that. We actually want to leave Trace there. This one, it's better to send the drone by itself. I just got a little excited. At least 5 tricks. That's true. Which means that I am at most 1 trick away from a double hat trick. Even though there are, as far as I'm aware, no hats in this game. So... Rocket door is Updoor's cousin. Plenty of vegetables. There's also Fruit Loops. Plenty of Fruit Loops. So these little like donut-like enemies are referred to as Fruit Loops in the rooms where they're in spades. They're in spades are called Fruit Loop rooms. A part of this balanced breakfast, absolutely. That is 100% correct. So this little corridor down here. Because I did that rocket door, there is no background music. Because I did it across a loading zone, an audio loading zone. So as you can see, we're not gonna have any music until I save warp out of here. And there's the music back suddenly. I just went through the door too fast. There was no time. There was no time to load the music. So this save that I just took and that I just warped back to is actually the last save that we're going to take in the run. It is important for routing purposes that we not take any other saves. We're gonna finish most of Absu cleanup, but not all of it during this pass. And then later we will save warp back to that. And grab one last thing. Next, we have one last kind of silly trick here. This is a strat that's called P-Squeeze. It's called P-Squeeze because the former world record holder who came up with this way of doing the room would always be needing to use the bathroom right around this point in time in the run. That is literally the only reason why that strat is called the P-Squeeze. So, apologies for that small turn into into humor. The rest of this run has been completely serious, so I'm sorry that a joke was made. All right, and that is, I think, the last that we will see of the broccoli.
All right, folks, we're going to break in and take a moment to say goodbye to the broccoli. Thank you.
Bye, broccoli. We hardly knew ye. It is easier to get my 4-year-old to eat broccoli than it is to get him to eat meat. that random broccoli fact.
You know, I would believe that because I think that was the case when my kids were 4 as well. They really liked those veggies, but they weren't huge fans of a lot of different other things. They liked carbohydrates and veggies, and that's it.
Oh yeah, it's actually my kid is actually surprisingly picky about carbs as well, and has decided that he no longer likes cheese. Kids are weird. We've now picked up our other hypodermic needle, so now if we're ever at full health, instead of 2 tentacles, Trace will have 4 tentacles. That's 40 tickles in total. I apologize for that. That one I'm really genuinely sorry about. This is Z cleanup, and honestly, like, I don't know what to say about Z cleanup aside from there's a lot of it. There's this corridor here, moss corridor, that leads us to an out and back that we actually can't do backwards, and that we can't save warp out of. So we actually do have to do the out and back here, which is it feels very silly, so we're gonna do it. Like, we don't really have a choice, but it feels silly. YOLO room. There is a weirdly placed item here. Can you please not do that? Thank you. It's just like hanging out in the ceiling up here. We could not have gotten that on our first pass through the room because we didn't have enough height to get up there. So we did have to come back and do that. We have this weird little room right here that is full of zombies and like little hopper dragon things. And we're going to do something kind of silly here. We're going to grab this, and then in order to get through that door up there, we're going to grapple coat. We now have another fun displacement warp glitch coming up here. We're going to pop ourselves into the ceiling here and grab this note. And then we're just going to tuck ourselves in there. We have some map tiles that we need our drone to get. It's going to just like come down here, fall through this door, fall down, land on that, and get recalled. And then we're just going to hold right, and this is going to take us back into the boss room, where we have items that we could not get before, and also map tiles that we could not get before. And just, grab all this stuff. Now, there is a save point near here, but again, for routing reasons, we're not gonna re-anchor our save. It's also actually slower to save warp out of here than it is to just walk out somehow. Very kind of silly. We're gonna go grab a couple of map tiles real quick. Just, here, and in this room. And then we're gonna finish out Z cleanup. Can't believe I cracked another egg. Yeesh. So the very last thing that we need to do in Z is this thing called maintenance tunnel, which is this area. There are 2 items buried in here. They're way the heck deep in here. These are some of the least fun checks to do in randomizer, because you often have to do them with very little drone health if you want to do them at like a reasonable time in the run. Here in 100%, we are incredibly overpowered for this, but it's still, it takes a little while because it's just very deep. We need to get all the map tiles, which means we need to pass through all the doors. There are just not that many exciting optimizations that we can make in this particular area. Dropping Trace down that fallway so that the drone can get this item is one little optimization. And just like the fact that we don't do this until we have red coat and drone is another one. And now we save warp. So now we're done with C, at least nominally. I should actually really, we're done with Ereboo, we're done with Z, we're done with Kerr. All right, great. Actually, you know what? Ekerma and Eden. Okay, good. Good. I didn't miss anything in any of the scary places to miss things. I want to make sure that I'm not most percenting for you folks. You deserve better than a most percent. So the last place that we have to visit at Absu is Spider Heck. Spider Heck is right here. It is full of spiders and heck. This is why we call it Spider Heck. We used to do Spider Heck much earlier in the run because it happens to be right underneath Ukana. And I need to... All right, good. We're done with Absu as well. We didn't forget anything in Absu this time. So now we are actually going to do the Ukana grapple skip one more time. Why? Why? Question mark? What? This does happen sometimes, and I really have no idea why. There we go. All right, this time, because we're not in the hallucination version of Ukana, we can actually just leave through the door, and it's totally fine. It's just completely normal gameplay. The game will not crash. So we have to come in here and get another weapon that we don't care about. We have to grab a bunch of map tiles. There's a secret item buried deep under here. We're going to go ahead and grab that. And now we can go ahead and move on to the final area of the game. Well, we're gonna check and make sure that we can move on to the final area of the game. First, we're gonna get the top map tile. Yep, we got everything in Ukana as well. It is time to move on to the final area of the game, Mar Uru, which is the most Uru that you can fit into one Mar, honestly. So, again, we need to collect every map tile here. So, save rooms, everything, the whole deal. It's shenanigans. It's fine. We're going to YOLO our way through a lot of this. Now, it is possible to skip both of the bosses in Mar Uru leading up to the final boss fight. But because this is, as mentioned, an all bosses run, we do actually have to stop and beat them anyway. So we're going to fight Sentinel. Sentinel is fastest if you flamethrower him and also dash into his face, because Redcoat doesn't just deal damage to everything it touches, it deals a lot of damage to everything it touches. So it is actually an incredibly powerful weapon. And we will be using it as a powerful weapon in all of the boss fights in Mar Uru. But first we've got a grapple clip again. Which we do, of course. And there's just like, there's stuff buried down here. We're not too worried about it. You can displacement warp off of these laser beams in this room. Again, we're not going to do that because we need map tiles. I am actually going to, so I lied a little bit. I am actually going to take the save in this room just because it is important to get to the second to last boss, the optional super boss, with as much health as possible for the quick kill. Because the optional super boss is really like the only thing that can kill us at this point in time. And it would suck if we had to go all the way back to Absu. So this is Zetter Hall. And Zetter Hall is basically just a stronger, faster, angrier version of Zetter. Zeter Hool, whatever. But because we have Red Coat and a Flamethrower, we can basically just tank him for half our health and win. We win. We are coming up on the very end of the game. We have 2 more items to collect. The first is the very last weapon in the game, Reverse Slicer, which is... it technically has utility and randomizer, but it is not a great weapon. We will not be using that one. And the last one is, I think, a note that is buried in a vent in this room, Disco Heck. This is the second to last room in the game. Immediately adjacent to this is a save room. And the final boss. So we have to send our drone through to get that into the vent. Into the vent we go. We're going to take a little bit of a safety here. We're not actually going to take this save, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the drone through this door and pop it. I did vent, it's true. And now, real quick, just make sure we... All right, we got everything. It's Hundo time!
Would this be a great moment for a quick donation read?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, from Ice Blue. I just had to donate during Sabera's run because it's a nice gesture. That Sabera is a lovely person and one of the greatest friends I have. Thanks for being a great friend and for showing me this game for this event. Big shout outs to everyone at the Speedrun Hall of Fame.
Aw, thank you, Ice. All right. So we're almost done with this fight. That's it. So it's not time yet. Time is when the screen blacks out after the very long animation. We're going to get a low 120 here, which would be good for second place. Is better than any of my D-Rest runs. So Alcinova is going to detonate our opponent, Athetos, and then the screen is going to fade to black, and we will see the final in-game time. But... time. Final stats. Let's see it. 120, 12, 27. That would be second place on the leaderboards. Items 100%, map 100%, death count 0. Valid run. Thank you, everybody. This is, I want to say, about 3 minutes slower than world record. It's good for second place on the leaderboard, but it is 3 minutes and like 7 seconds slower than world record. This run is really fun to do. I love this so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do this. Thank you so much for the opportunity to benefit this wonderful cause. Thank you so much, chat, for all of the GGs. I loved this. I love you all.
I think that's my cue.
And
you're fantastic. Thank you so much, Sabera. I learned so much about this game watching your run. It was really, really fascinating. You did such a wonderful job showcasing all the details and making it fun and interesting for us all the long way. So once again, everybody, let's say another thank you to Sabera for showcasing Axiom Verge 100% tonight. Thank you so much. And with that, folks, we're going to go ahead and change gears and take just a brief break while we get set up for the next runner in tonight's marathon. Thank you all so much for coming out and hanging out, and we're going to be up in just a minute with the next one. Once again, thanks, Sabera, and see you again soon.